What's up, guys? This is the OG Broncnutz 719 West, and tonight it's time for another episode of the Broncnutz Chronicles, which is just going to be a hodgepodge of a couple of different things that I want to talk to y'all about tonight. So first, let's start off with, I know y'all have a little bit of anxiety watching Bitcoin jump around, and I know for today a little bit it dipped underneath 10,000, and expect Bitcoin to retrace probably all the way back to 8,000, maybe even touch into the high $7,000 numbers. But keep one thing in mind. This has happened a lot of times before, y'all. And every time that it's happened, you heard the same thing on TV. Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's over, cash in your chips and run. And the people who haven't done that have always just held firm and seen Bitcoin go to a new to all-time high. So keep in mind that weak hands are going to get shook off along the way. There's a lot of nervous Nellies out there, right, that went out there and bought some Bitcoins and, maybe even bought them on their credit card or with money that they didn't really have to lose. And they're like, man, I got to take it out of here before I lose it all and, owe the money on this loan. And, there's a futures market, but, for all the shorting that's being done, at some point they got to buy to cover. So Bitcoin will have its day and rally again in the future, and it's going to be a factor. It'll still be the king of crypto for quite some time. Also today came out, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, that Facebook is going to censor, imagine that, Mark Zuckerberg, picking and choosing what he wants you to see. Sure, not the way things started out, Mark, your tune's changed. But they're going to censor any talk, hype, FOMO, discussion about ICO'S on the Facebook platform. Now this, I think, is for a couple of reasons. One, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't like competition. He's had it pretty good for a while, right? I mean, he came up with this good idea of Facebook in the beginning. It was all harmless. It was a way for just a neat way for you to keep in touch with your friends. And now it's turned into a mega monster money-making machine where it's given him a lot of power, so much so that he's kind of hinted that he's going to try to make a presidential run somewhere in the future because of the power and notoriety he's been able to generate through Facebook and our free content that we've been giving him. So he doesn't want that competition, and he's already hinting around and asking around and talking about cryptocurrencies because I think Mark Zuckerberg sees the writing on the wall. His company is either slowly dying because people are going to figure out the content can be monetized, or he's going to have to get with the program and either come up with his own coin, which will definitely be challenging, or piggyback on some other buddy's network, some other coin, maybe Dash, maybe Litecoin. Who knows what it could possibly be. But I just think that it's funny that Facebook is banning now and censoring not only things about crypto, but all sorts of things, and forcing you to see the ads that you want to see them. It's just cluttered with ads now, right? And so it's funny when I hear people over here on Steemit that are watching over on my Steemit channel that, Broncnutz, I do everything I can do and my post only makes $1. Well, think about how much you did for free for over a decade that Mark Zuckerberg never, and you were perfectly happy with it. And now all of a sudden, just because you see people making money and you don't have that type of a success right away, you think you're some sort of a failure, you think you need to be doing more. I mean, look, don't do things on Steemit or YouTube for that matter to make money. When I started my YouTube channel, and as a matter of fact, all the way till today, I've never even monetized any content. I have all my videos unmonetized because I wasn't doing this for money. I just making videos because I like talking about the Broncos and talking trash and making people laugh. And then it kind of evolved into Lefty Three Rings and some crypto talk and just things I was interested in. And so I don't get disappointed when a video of mine doesn't do very well or one does really good. I just do what I do and let the chips fall where they're going to fall and try to bring you guys the best content that I can. One thing that I see happening in the crypto coin space is a lot of ICO amateurs, right? So ICOs are something that I don't really recommend. I mean, you know that I have a couple of them, one being Bice, the other one being Evion, which is the mobile mining units. Both of them, I sunk a fair amount of money into them because I think they both have good utilities and strong strong probability that they can have some success. But they're not get rich quick schemes, I mean, like, you got to do a little work, you got to cultivate these things a little bit. And when I started here on Steam, and I didn't have any followers, and I didn't know one person, I didn't have anybody to help give me an upvote to get me boosted. I mean, I come over to some of your guys' pages all the time and just give you an upvote out of the blue just to boost you along, because I know you need it. I mean, heck, I need it. I love it when the Joophiles comes over and gives me a nice little boost, or Ad Zackley, or Exile, or J.R. Cornell. I mean, then we got some guys that have some steam power that give me a little boost every now and then, and it sure feels good to me. So I want to pay that forward down to y'all. So I'm doing everything I can. You just remember, I only got so many votes to go around, so I got to, I want to give you guys tips on your comments, and I'm doing what I can do. I'm giving you away smart cash. I'm not a greedy guy. I want to spread the coin around. I think it benefits all of us. But there's so many amateurs out there getting involved in these ICOs, and I think that's what's causing a problem with the way some of them are going, right? Because they don't understand that when you send Ethereum to an ICO, you've got to send it from my Ethereum wallet, or some sort of private offline wallet, not necessarily offline, but just your own wallet, not a wallet from an exchange. And I think those things are written very clearly in the directions. Either people aren't reading them, they're not understanding them, or they're just such newbies that there's so much to take in that some of the information just falls through the cracks. And I can understand that. I mean, that happened to me when I first started. I was real nervous about sending coins, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I've kind of just figured things out along the way in the last 5 or 6 years, and just really self-taught myself. But I think a lot of these hang-ups are because these new investors that are coming into the crypto space, and it's great. I mean, we want those people to come in. They just want to get on to the next best thing, right? I mean, they want to get rich. I want to get rich. I want to take $500 and turn it into $5 million. Well, I mean, hey, if you want to make $5 million, bring a whole lot more than 500. The word's out on cryptos, but there's still massive amounts of money to be made. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a 19-year-old kid bet his parents, they wanted him to go to college, and were kind of cracking on him to get a summer job when he was 16. He said, "Tell you what, Mom, Dad, if I'm a millionaire by the time it's the first day of college, then I don't go to college. I just become a crypto coin trader for the rest of my life. And if I don't, then I'll go to college and study what you want me to study." Well, he did, and he came out with a new article or a new quote or whatever just a few days ago that said, look, and he was pointing right at you, all of you, including me. If you don't make $1 million or become a millionaire or even a multi-millionaire in the next 10 years with cryptocurrencies, it's your own fault. This space has so much to grow. This is not a bubble. It's nowhere near popping. Don't believe what you're hearing on TV. Don't get weak knees and sell to these whales who are down there collecting, because there's so much money begging to get in this. I mean, I know lots of people who are trying to get money in the crypto market, and they can't, and they live in the United States, where it's relatively easy to get your money into the crypto market. So there's still a lot of fuel to be dumped on this fire. It's slowly happening, but just take some patience. Just take some patience and keep everything in perspective. Whatever money you're making here on Steemit or on YouTube, making videos, making blogs, making posts, be thankful for what you have and the viewership that you do have. And the key to the game is do it because you love it, and do your best to put out the best content. I mean, it's like that in any job, right? I mean, do a job that you really like or something that you love, and do it to your best of ability, and usually the money will take care of itself. I mean, if you do a good job and you're in a good environment and you excel at something, usually there's a reward behind it. So, and that's kind of the way things work on both sides, whether it's Steemit or YouTube. State of the Union was tonight. Trump gave his State of the Union speech. And here's the thing. I mean, I'm not going to ever get into a political battle here on YouTube or Steemit, whether, Democrat, Republican. Really, to me, they're all kind of just the same thing. But what is funny to me is just, if you ever watch the State of the Union, just all of the standing ovations, stand up, clap, 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 down, and then 6 more words get said and stand up. And it's distracting, really. I mean, I want to watch this to see what the President of the United States says, whether it's Bush or Clinton or Obama or Trump. I mean, I want to know what they have to say, because I live here. I have a vested interest in this country. And I thought the President did a very good job tonight. But I find it funny that, and it's not just Democrats or Republicans, it's both of them, that, like tonight, for instance, the Democrats, they don't stand up and clap too much. I mean, Trump can say, yeah, we're getting, MS-13 gang members out of our country. I mean, who could be against that? Like, who could possibly think, nah, man, that's not a good idea. I'm not standing up and clapping for that. Except all the Democrats who won't stand up for it, right? Because they just hate Trump that bad. And I guess, you could have said the same thing when Obama was president. Republicans, I noticed they wouldn't stand up and clap for a lot of his policies. And that's just the yin and the yang and the fundamental differences of what's going on within our country. But a couple things that cracked me up, like Paul Ryan, right? Sitting there in the background behind Trump with Vice President Pence, and Paul Ryan got that Forrest Gump, just head tilt all night. That's all he does. He sits like this. I mean, doesn't that guy's neck get sore? Because to me, he looked like he was uncomfortable all night. It was almost funny looking, like Plastic Man. He just sit with his head tilted while everybody else's heads were straight, kind of looked out of place. And then you had fake Chuck Schumer, right? The fake crying Chuck Schumer. And then Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, I mean, that disgusting woman, all she was doing there all night, just this mean mugging, right? Not clapping, wouldn't stand up, and just licking the inside of her teeth. I mean, what was she doing? She kept doing that all night long. Like she had 6 inches of peanut butter stuck on her teeth. And I just don't understand why it has to be like that, right? I mean, why it has to be so far polar opposites that we can't agree on. If we do need to secure our borders, we need to know who's in this country, right? I mean, have people documented so that they're all paying taxes and contributing and, a right to legal immigration. I mean, I want to see people be able to come here. I mean, I'm Italian. My family got here, and we were immigrants. Everybody who lives here is immigrants. So I don't think anybody's really against that. We're just about having a system and bringing that system into the 21st century. And it's just amazing to me that people, don't agree with that at all. I mean, like, not at all, to the point where they won't clap, they won't stand up, and they'll just mean mug the president all night. And I just don't see how that's that far out of line or off base. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I voted for Trump, but I don't agree with everything Trump says. I mean, really, I'm an anarchist if you really want to get down to it. I mean, I think the government should be much, much smaller than it is, but it is what it is, and this is the world we live in. But it's just amazing to me that both sides of that aisle are so abrasive towards each other that it's sickening as an American just to watch that happen, and those are the people that are representing us. Some great stories tonight, some heroes that, had some legs blown off in the war, and, that guy that defected from North Korea, and they tortured him. I mean, it's just a lot of amazing stories. The family, the policeman who found a homeless woman that was getting ready to inject with heroin. She was pregnant. He talked her out of it, and they took in her baby and adopted her and named her Hope. And that just shows you that there's good people left in this world, and that it's not all bad. Hopefully, maybe somewhere down the line, blockchain technology can help our country with some of the problems we have. I mean, think about it. Maybe if we had some sort of immigration system with some checks and balances that were on a blockchain, on a public register, of being able to become a full-blown citizen of the United States. I mean, Trump said tonight he was going to make it a 12-year plan. And, it had a lot of things to do with, like, your record and your what you're contributing to society and your skill set. And I think all of those things are important. But maybe a way to have a checks and balances and have that on a public ledger so that nobody slips through the cracks. So the person that actually did jump through every single one of those hoops that our government wanted them to jump through to become a citizen here, it was recorded on the blockchain. Nobody could disturb it. Nobody could manipulate it. And nobody could deny them access to our country for the things that they've done since they've been here during that 12 years. So that's what's exciting, not only about crypto coins to me, but just blockchains, that I think it can solve a lot of the problems and a lot of the corruption and a lot of the things that are really wrong at the heart of this country, and make those things better a little bit better for everybody. I mean, I want to see, I'm the kind of guy, I want to see people succeed, right? I mean, that's why I try to upvote all my comments that are reasonable, and I try to, and I try not to give too much of the reward pool to myself. I mean, I only really just upvote my own video when it comes out once a day. And then I do everything I can to spend all my votes to give it to everybody else, because I know that's what it's going to really take for Steemit to succeed. I mean, really, that's the whole argument that's been going on here over on Steemit between like Bernie Sanders and what's his name, Hygen or Hingen. I mean, haven't got involved in too much of the battle, but I've paid attention. And for those of you who don't know, we've got, there's a guy on here who's basically, he's got a lot of steam power, and he's posting 6, 7, 10 times a day and just upvoting his own posts, and he's taking massive amounts of the rewards pool out and he's awarding it to himself. And the reality is that he's playing by the rules. I mean, the rules were written in the code, and he's playing by those rules. But I mean, it's like anything in life. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. And there is some level of morality, I think, that everybody's got to have for the greater good of the tribe, right? The greater good of all of Steemit. That if he just played his cards a little bit different, I think you could really build yourself an iron cross instead of a house of cards. I mean, think about it. If you organically grow followers and viewers that generally just like your comment, I mean, they like your content. I mean, there's people I like, right? I mean, there's video makers on YouTube. I've watched every video they've ever made for the last 4 or 5 years. Every single one. The good ones, the bad ones, the ones I don't agree with, the ones that I do agree with, because I like that person. I like their camera presence, the way they speak, their ideals. Maybe they open my mind up to a different way of thinking. So there's people that I watch, and I'm sure there's some of you watching right now that watch every single Broncnutz video that ever comes out, and I appreciate that. I like doing this, and I like helping Steemit and YouTube and social media and communication and the truth grow between all of us, because this is our only true form of communicating in news. Not what you're seeing on Fox, CNBC, CNN. That's not true. That's not the truth, right? That's skewed. That's trickery. That's smoke, mirrors, and trick photography that's happening to us. But this one-on-one, where we can exchange ideas, exchange ideals, and try to see eye to eye with each other and get a better understanding with what your life's about and what mine's about, and how we can integrate that with each other. I think that's what's great about Steemit, right? Because you can interact with people from all over the world. There is no censorship. There's no ads blocking, stopping what we're doing. There's no political slant being forced at us like there is on YouTube and like there is on Facebook and Instagram and some of the other forms of media. So it's just kind of refreshing that we get to come to this place and enjoy that. And that's why it's important for everybody here to self-regulate, right? Downvote these bots. I see people all the time stealing comments. You wrote a comment, very well thought out, and I upvoted you, and somebody came along new and said, oh, he liked that comment. Let me just copy that, and I'll post it down below and trick him. You ain't tricking the OG Broncnutz, because I read them all. I read them all, and I know which comments are genuine, and I know which ones are not, most of the time. And I do the very best I can to try to help spread this coin around. If for some reason I miss one of your comments, or I don't get to your videos for a few days or even a month to upvote you, don't think that I don't care, or that I forgot about you, because I haven't. It's important to me to see y'all succeed, because that definitely helps me succeed. I look at Steemit as a long-term investment. Now, I'm not going anywhere, right? My coins that I have powered up, they're going to stay powered up. And I'm enjoying some of the fruits of some of my labor. I've worked hard to get my followers to where it is, and I've put out a lot of videos, and it's hard to come out with new, good, entertaining stuff, but I'm doing the best I can to try to always bring you something new and keep you on your toes, because you never know what you're going to get, right? Sometimes you're going to get the OG Broncnutz spitting fire at the Chiefs, and sometimes you're going to get Lefty 3 rings, and sometimes you're going to get the guy who wants to talk about crypto, and sometimes you're going to see flights with my drone, and sometimes you're just going to see what it is just to be in my everyday life. And that's what I enjoy sharing with y'all. And I'm sure glad that you came here and watched this. And if you're still here, after 19 minutes, you're one of the hardcore ones, and I appreciate you the most. This is the OG Broncnutz 719 West. I'll see you next time, suckers. I'm out.